Okay, Shalom Aleichem, welcome everybody. As we continue in Maseches Chagiga, we're in Daf Hey Omid Aleph, 6 lines from the bottom, second wide line, um, and we're holding. Rabbi Yochanan Kimotil Hakira Boche. When Rabbi Yochanan came to this pasuk, he would cry. Pasuk says, "V'haya ki timtze'ena otora otra badu tzarot." In Parshas and Sefer Devarim, talking about when the people would do sins, many evils and distresses come upon him. And it says in the pasuk when it finds you, not that just when it happens, but when it finds you. And so, if Hashem is finding it, Evan shiraboy mamtzi lor ha'ot. If a master is finding his slaves' problems, takana yeshloi, will we have any remedy? Meaning, is there any way to hide from God when He's finding all the evils that we have done? My ra'ot vitzarot. Why does it say ra'ot rabot vitzarot? Many evils and distresses. It should have said ra'ot vitzarot rabot, evils and distresses many. Why many in between? Omarav, ra'ot, shenasot tzarot zolazo. It's so bad that one problem will cause another problem. Ki goin zibura va'akraba, like a wasp and a scorpion. The Gemara tells us in Moed Zara that for the wasp and the scorpion, one hot has to be used for the wasp and cold for the scorpion. If you use either or, the wrong one for either or, you're causing more damage. So, as Warren is saying, you have so much problems that you'll have both bites. And if you use either remedy, it's going to be a problem for the other. So, it's going to be problematic. No matter what you do, it's going to be another problem. It's like someone who finds person money when he's in a pressing need. Now, usually we say it's good to help someone when they're in a pressing need, but apparently at this point, when you help him, it causes more problems. Amarava, no one can find any money to help a guy to purchase food, but all of a sudden when he's in trouble with the government, and now he can't even file bankruptcy, all of a sudden you're helping him, or he could, and then it's more taxes and more liens, and he's in more trouble. You helped him at a point where it's after the breaking point. And so the help is problematic. Where you could have helped beforehand, you didn't. This is what it means. Rabot v'tzarot. That it's being a problem no matter what. Okay. Continues the psukim in Devarim. My anger will flare against him on that day, and I will forsake them, and I will conceal my face from them. So here in this pasuk says, I will forsake them. So says Rav Berdula Bar Tavyomi in the name of Rav, if someone doesn't get concealment of face, that Hashem sort of doesn't see him, or Hashem doesn't pay attention to him, or gives him a hard time, if he doesn't have that, then he's not a Jew. Only a Jew goes through this. He saw Hashem put Hashem puts his favor on us, and Hashem can take away the favor from us. So someone who doesn't get pester upon him is not considered a Jew. Anyone doesn't have or goyim take away their money and their assets, he's also not Jewish. Well, the pasuk says that the goyim would come and take from us. So that is a proof that a person is Jewish if that actually happens. So the rabbis who were learning this said to Rava, you, Rava, you always get answered, and you, Rava, never get anything lost. Your assets don't get lost. He said, the Rava said to them, listen, mi yaditu kamo mesharduna bitzina veishavor malka. Who knows? Which one of you know how much money I in secret send to Shabur Malka, which is the King Shapur of Persia of the time, around year 300 of the current count, Persian count, so around year 300, 380. And he says, I would pay. I'm paying him under the table a lot of stuff just to keep my wealth. So don't think that I'm not being lost. Even so, the rabbis put their eyes upon him. And then agents from Shapur Malka came, and they looted him. Amar, Rabbi then said, Haim Detanya, Amar Mishum Gamil, Kol Malcolm, Shanasu Chum Beneim, anywhere the Chum put their eyes, Oy Misa, Oy Aini, or he dies, or the person becomes poor, and according to Chazal, a poor person is considered deaf. So the Chachamim have this power with their eyes. If they look at somebody, a lot of stories, but they look at someone, they become a pile of bones. So the Chachamim's eyes are very powerful. A person has to try to avoid scrutiny by the Chachamim. And an idea here, Ben Yada says this is a power of Ayin Hara, even though they didn't mean Ayin Hara, but once you start looking, it's a problem. There is a different shot I saw in a Sefer that said as follows. The Chachamim actually did this on purpose. They did this on purpose to Rava. Rava was in danger. Why was Rava in danger? There is a Gemara in Masechet Ta'anit that tells us that one time Rava had to pay back Shavur Malka, whatever it was. He owed him money, and he needed it to rain. And so it was the middle of the summer when there's not supposed to be any rain. And Rava daven, and he saw over here, he doesn't have Hester upon him. Hashem answers him right away, and the rain comes. And in Shemayim, they weren't happy that he forced rain in a time when it wasn't supposed to be. In fact, his father came and told him, "Don't sleep in your bed. Right? You're in danger." He doesn't sleep in his bed, and he finds the next day he finds all these sort of sword holes through his bed as the Shadim tried to come and kill him, and he was in trouble. So the Chachamim decided that they were going to cause him problems here. So this way, Shemayim will no longer look to kill him. And he says this is why the Chachamim put their eyes on him in order to get him in trouble. So this way, he doesn't end up getting killed, and he can live his life. And this way, he'll be safe via what they did. Interesting insight to that. Okay, the pasuk says, "Anochi hester aser upon him by yoimahu." I will certainly conceal my face in that day. Amar Rava, Amar Kodesh Baruch Hu, Afal Pishi Starting B'Haneihem, even though I conceal my face in the daytime, but Halom Adenabo, I'll speak to them in the night in a dream. Rabbi Yosef, Amar Yadu Yada Netuya Aleinu. We know Hashem's hand is still outstretched in Hashemar with Sel Yadi Kisiticha. And with the shadow of my hand, I have covered you. So even though we're in Galut, in Yeshaya, the pasuk says Hashem continues to outstretch His hand. Marshal says one is even with all the problems that we're getting, all these patches, all these slaps. These are all ways for us to become closer to Hashem. So Hashem didn't give up on us. He's still giving us problems to become closer to Him. B, we still get saved by Hashem, no matter what the Goyim are trying to do to us. Somehow, the Jewish nation continues to thrive and strive and live. So we see Hashem's shadow. His hand is on us. Just to go back to that, they say it's like by Mordechai, time of Mordechai. There was no Nevu anymore, but Mordechai had Ruach HaKadosh. He realized what was going on. Hashem gave him a dream, and there was other dreams, many stories throughout Jewish history where dreams saved the Klal Yisrael. So the Chaloim Adaber Boy still exists. Rabbi Yeshua ben Chananya, Havikai Ba'ei Kesar. Yeshua ben Chananya, who debated many times with the Romans and the Greeks and everyone else that was there during his time. He was standing in the Caesar's palace, and there was a certain heretic. Before the Gemaras were censored, this was a certain Maimin Yeshu Netzri. This was a early Christian. So they're in Rome, and they are trying to show the Caesar that Christianity is the right religion. So he signaled to Rabbi Yeshua. It's called Chachma Yevani, Greek wisdom, was be able to debate without talking, via signaling. So he signaled to Rabbi Yeshua, Ama dehadrinhu marela apemine, a nation whose master had turned away his face from him. So he also turned his face away from Yeshua to show him that Hashem turned his face away from the Jews. Ach vele, Yeshua signaled back, he outstretched his hand to show that Hashem's hand continues to reign outstretched over the Jewish people. Amrle, case like Yeshua, the Caesar said to Rabbi Yeshua, my achvelach, what did he signal to you? So he said, he's telling me, Hashem has turned his face away from us. And I showed him via signaling that Hashem has his hand stretched over us. So he said to this Mina, this early Christian, he said to him, my achvetle, what did you signal to him? What was your signaling? I signal that Jews are a nation whose master has turned his face away from them. So, my achvelach. And what did the Jews show you? He said, Lo yadan, I don't know. What is a man who doesn't understand signaling, debating with signals in front of the king? Yeah, should he exchange signals before the king? They took him out and they killed him as punishment for disrespect to the king. So we got rid of this guy very easily. Keep caught. Rabbi Hanania was passing away. He was old. He was going away. They said to him, what are we going to do with all those heretics that debate us? If the Jewish people don't have the ability to debate, then the Christians and the Goyim also not have the ability to debate. Isaac said, let's go alongside me. Neged will always be equal, but the Goyim will never be better in debating, and so they can never win. So if they can debate, we can debate. If they can't debate, well, then we don't need to debate. But we never have to be worried about losing the debate. Rabbi Eli, he was ascending the stairs of the house of Rabbi Bar Shila. And he heard a young child who was saying a pasuk. Okay, a pasuk in Amos. Pasuk in Amos says, "For behold, he forms mountains and creates winds. He recounts to a person what were his words." Usually, sechah could also mean deeds, but here when the boy said it, sechah, it sounded like his words. So Amar Rav Ila said, "Evan sharabah magid lo ma'asechah." A slave whose master tells him what his words are. I mean, if Hashem can tell you back what all the words are, does he have any remedy? There's no way to escape. Right, like the Chafetz Chaim says, the phonography, audio recordings, and video recordings, camera recordings, HD, 4K, 8K, all these things, all the multiple angles the person can have, is to tell us, look, just like technology can do it, how much more so Hashem is going to play back everything we did, and how would we be able to respond at that time? What is the meaning of what were his words? Amarav, the extra talk between man and wife, they recount it to a person at the time of death. Okay, so some understand it as sicha kala, light-headed talking. But we're saying over here that even the intimate talking between a husband and a wife, it will be recorded. Now, a Gemara says, Aini, is man brought to account for the talk between himself and his wife before marital relation? Rav Kahana once lay under the bed of Rav. Okay, he wanted to see how Rav does stuff in practice, and he said, "This is Torah, and I need to learn it." Pashut, he went under the bed of Rav. Rav didn't know he was there, and he heard him playing, talking, laughing with his wife, and then they do the intimate act. Amar. So Rav Kahana said from beneath the bed, Rav's mouth is like one that has not tasted food. Amar Rav Kahana said, Rav said to him, Kahana, go out. Not proper for you to be here. Nevertheless, we saw Rav talked and laughed. So what he's saying, Hashem's going to bring us back for the words we spoke to our wife. It depends if he needs to appease her, right? Then those words are fine. But if he's not appeasing her with those words are superfluous. Okay. So what comes out of this Gemara of Pashut shot is that you can only talk to your wife to calm her down. If she's angry at you and stuff like that, then you can talk to her and then be with her. But if she's not, then you shouldn't talk. The Meiri doesn't see that way. The Meiri understands it that you can always appease your wife and always make her in the mood. That's a very important thing. As the Chacham tell us, when the Kedusha of Tahara, if there's a strong desire between the husband and the wife and they're together, they get very, very special children. So it's not that a person shouldn't speak, but a person should speak that makes them more excitement. And if you're speaking nonsense and other words that are not related to the Tashmish, not related to the act, that's extra and that's not appropriate and that's lo tzarich l'tzuya. Also, just in general, talking to the wife is very important. But if you're going to talk and it's going to cause more fights, for example, sometimes you don't know how to stop yourself from talking back, right? And that's just going to cause you more and more issues. Then you haven't done the right thing, right? So you have to know that talking is good, talking is important, but you have to know the limit of it and when, how, and where. And to make the wife very excited to be together, that's a very, very, very important and special thing, as the Meiri writes. Okay, so this Bezat Hashem is where we get up to it today. Hashem, we will continue the next time. Shavua Tov Lekulam.